All right. We can start. I don't usually edit this, so not that it
Hmm?
matters. If you want to drink, you can. But since you're working, you probably don't.
No, no, I don't drink. Mormons don't drink, man.
Oh, that's right. Oh my god, I forgot. Oh, that this is going into the thing. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, sorry about that.
Don't worry.
Okay, so welcome to this pre-recorded episode of Audio Discourse, season 2, episode 9. I was gonna stream this, but my internet's shit now, so it's all gonna be pre-recorded if I'm gonna do something. So today I have Joseph from Shuoer with me. So why don't you tell the people like what you do at?
You're gonna introduce me as Jenny or something.
I thought I was gonna introduce you as Jenny, but that would be inappropriate.
Yeah, I'm Joseph. I'm from Hong Kong, and I have a story about how I joined Shuoer, but that's kind of long. No.
Yeah, just tell us what you do. What's your like job title from?
Well, I gave myself a job title because it didn't give me an official one, so I'm more like international marketing and outreach. So basically, everything from the website. But I have to clarify this. I have to say this. I didn't write a single word on the website. I effing hate what that website says and all of it. Oh man, no.
You coded the website.
Yeah,
You didn't write
yeah,
anything. Like you wrote the website, but you didn't write for the website.
yeah.
Right.
I like program the website because
Right.
I'm a
Right.
programmer by
Right.
trade. But
Right.
all the blog posts, product description, aside from like some specs, and I go into that like fix like 2 pages for the grammars, and then I gave up. Just
Okay.
no.
So you pretty much do like the international marketing and sales whatever
Mm-hmm.
for Shower, and you're
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
so if anybody would like reach like the company and have to like stand speak English, it's probably you, right?
Yeah, we have someone else that might be helping me soon. We if you go onto AliExpress, you'll be talking to a different guy. But I just found like the other days that he's actually an English major. So yeah, we may have someone else to frequent the Discord soon enough. Yeah,
Okay, but for the most part, that you are as of now,
yeah,
like
yeah,
their international marketing team, whatever.
yeah, yeah,
Whatever title that you want to give yourself.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
I want to call myself Techno King, but that was taken.
okay, so I I I want to do this podcast because like you recently joined the Discord server, and we got talking about obviously like as you said in the beginning, like you're from Hong Kong and you're born there, and I am from the South, definitely not in Hong Kong. Uh but I do go back to mainland quite frequently before COVID, and I have like the exposure, like the Chinese audiophile exposure, and since you are from sorry, let me put down China, um I thought it would be, and you work for a chifi company. I think it would be interesting for us to discuss like just maybe like how different the two community is, or just how like different just in terms of like a manufacturer perspective. So but before that, I agreed to let you get your show on, so please show your company.
Man, I feel like this is what my worst part of my job. I'm really bad at like shilling something that I don't like.
Okay,
Okay,
how about this, what's your favorite IEM that's made by your company, your favorite?
okay, I'll say this. See this. I'll do the YouTube thing to see if I can focus this. This is my personal set of EJ07. I'll say this is my favorite IEM. Renders the rest of my collection like. Well, nowadays I don't do IEM much anymore, but I shouldn't say this. But yes, I EJ07 is my favorite set, and the bass is good. That we are more or less known for the 3Dness, the immersion of sound presentation, the soundscape or whatnot. But I would also say that the the core competency of the company. Oh, and now I sound like a businessman. The core competency of the company is the workmanship, build quality for especially for our resin set, because if you have an EJ07M or up and you want for example, you want a completely resin reshell, we don't charge a lot, and our engineer basically manhandle your set for a whole afternoon, and hand polish is,
By
I
resin
would
set, you
say,
mean your CIEM, your custom IEMs, right?
no, even for universal like EJ007 and up, it's all resin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Cause yeah, right. Okay, that's my fault. But you guys do custom as well, right? For your upper level, like whatever like IEM that's made with resin, you guys also do the resin CIEM version of that IEM, right?
yeah. And I would just give this is my second set of IEM, I mean custom IEM, and the other set is from a company I would not name publicly.
Well, yeah,
But I
obviously you
would
work for
say,
Shuoer. That's fine.
yeah, more or less because I don't want to diss on that company. I will tell you privately maybe if you
That's
really
fine.
ask me, and yeah, but yeah, I won't diss on the other company. But the thing is, the workmanship is a bit different. The other set I got, especially for a seam, if you know the Android versus iPhone, where the seam is the side is like completely one curve from the screen to the side to the back side of the phone. It's like one curve. Most of the IEMs I touched, you don't get that. You will feel a distinct seam. Not on my set, but that's besides the point.
All right, now that we got that ad spot out of the way, this episode of Audio Discourse podcast is sponsored by QDC. For the best chifi experience, please go buy the QDC. I'm just kidding. We're not sponsored by anybody.
How about this? I would say this: VX is my favorite chifi set aside from Shuoer. I can honestly say this.
I don't think that like I think like as somebody who's ethnically Chinese or just like Chinese in general, like if you're Chinese living in China, you're either in the camp, like now obviously you work for Shuoer, so that's very different, right? So but like in I think in general, if you have money, like have money in China as somebody who's into audio and likes chi-fi, you're either in the unique melody camp or you're in the QDC camp. Because that's
You forgot Duners.
well, those are boomers. Like they're usually really old and really stupid.
Man, Duni was, when Duni was the first Chinese company, back when Chi-Fi was still like a stigma,
You
in
mean
Hong Kong.
Edifier was?
No, Edifier back then only did speakers, and when you think about Edifier, you think about $50 set of like cheapo computer speaker. Well, now they have AirPods and they bought stacks. So yes.
Well, yeah. And don't they also own? Who owns Ibasso, Aurealis, and Hyla?
I don't. No, I don't know much hi-fi enough. I'm sorry.
Well, no. Like Ibasso is also owned by Ibasso owns like Aurealis, and Hyla.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they're like a one big conglomerate.
Yes, you know what? I also think someone may correct me, but I have a feeling, if I don't recall wrong, Ibasso was as old as Dunu when it comes to hi-fi.
Ibasso is very old. They're like very big.
Yeah, back when they only do headphone amps,
Mm-hmm. All right.
And
so
back when iCube was a thing, if you know your old retro
enough Chinese boomer talk. So you work on the international marketing, and obviously I think you used to live in Hong Kong, so you know a little bit about Shuoer and their domestic marketing. I have always I am under the impression that the Chi-Fi brand don't really care about international marketing. Because that I believe any good respectable Chinese IEM company would have 90 to 95 of their sales to be domestic.
Yeah,
Not
I agree. I totally agree. Yeah.
not because that they don't care about international marketing or an international audience, is because that just the sheer size of the Chinese market is good enough for them to profit, right? So I because like if even it, like honestly, even if your Campfire Audio, which is an American brand, I'm willing to bet that maybe not half, maybe a good chunk of their sales is from China. Not because their IEMs are good or whatever, is because that there's 1.5 billion people in China with a growing middle class, right? So any good IEM company, the majority of their audience would be either in China, Singapore, and Japan, right? China, Japan, and Singapore in that order, right? So that's China's obviously by far the biggest market, and then Japan, and then Singapore, and then Korea maybe, right? So for you as a marketing person for maybe the English speaking world, so like Europe and North America, I I feel like maybe a company like Shuoer doesn't really or shouldn't really care about like you're in. So why do you guys care?
It's a peculiar story. I understand. Like I would say, I would just go on a quick tangent. I think our brand is not the only one that sells well. I think I don't have the exact numbers, but I have a feeling of how many people actually mention those brands. For example, Moondrop makes probably I would say most probably makes more sales in the international market.
Big.
Uh, yeah, because the how many mentions I see, and Shuoer was not very much mentioned in the Chinese market a few years ago, at least. So the story is, and it also ties into why I got mixed up with Shuoer, is that uh, uh, because HBB happened, you know, HBB somehow came up with went kind of big at that time, and because of the Belon because everyone Belon kind of blows up, and so HBB blows up because of that, and then after that he reviewed the tape and EJ07, and that's how we as a company was more mentioned in the West compared to our domestic market. So it's kind of peculiar. I would say 90% of the Chinese company don't. It's not like that. I would say even Fiat, I think they have a bigger domestic market than the West.
That's
But
why I
yeah,
say
yeah,
any respectable Chinese brand would have a bigger domestic market.
yeah. Are you saying that way? I'm just kidding. But yeah, I totally understand because and that's why a lot of the Chinese company, not just audio companies, they are sometimes reluctant to go out to the go out of the Chinese market because you don't need to.
Right,
You know?
because no matter what you sell, right, you have to cater towards the middle class, and um, in terms of economics, I believe that everywhere else we have a shrinking middle class in America, you actually do have a growing middle class in China. So what's the point of going international when you barely have the production capability to satisfy your domestic market, right?
I would argue a little bit about the growing middle class. You see the GDP growing, but I would say it's more like a mentality. Chinese, it's just my perspective and my friends and my personal perspective, is that you would see, for example, you would see people from Hong Kong, the difference between Hong Kong and China. For example, you earn Hong Kongers would earn like maybe like $5,000 or $6,000 a month, and then they would be just getting at most for example a quarterback, basic quarterback, for maybe like less than $100. And then you would see Chinese people coming in who earns less than 2,000 a month, and they would be taking they will be getting a Hermes bag. They will be eating instant ramen for a lot of the meals, and they would get a Hermes bag. Same as watches, same as earphones.
Well, yeah, because
And
you have this the capitalist mentality of buying things and like
exactly.
and
That's
now when mainland China's transitioned into that consumerism capitalist mentality, that means they have a lot of buying power, as in the Chinese middle class have a lot of buying power. Whether or not they choose to spend that money is none of my problem, right? But the matter of the fact is that now that a lot of Chinese people are relatively rich and have money to spend on watches, earphones, or whatever. So I think that, as, any company that's from China, would market
yeah.
towards I would assume, right? Because, I don't know. I don't know QTC, but obviously I'm a QTC show. Even though I don't have any of their IEMs anymore, I would think that 90% of their sales are in China.
Oh yeah, QDC. Yeah, it's a
Well,
big
definitely,
domestic brand. Yeah,
right? Because they don't
definitely.
care about the West, right? I don't think, but
I haven't even talked to or seen a QDC rep. Did they even
they
sponsor
don't have a
Headfly? I don't know.
they don't have a rep in the United States now. Their official like North American distributor is through Music Tech,
Yeah.
which is just their distributor. They don't really have a rep, right? Now, as opposed to even
Mhm,
Shuoer has a North American rep, right?
mhm.
Okay, so like I don't know. Would you say the majority of Shower's audience are North American then?
I would say nowadays, I would say there's a good at least 70-30. It's not like one side of like 80-20 or even 90-10 for domestic bias towards the
Wait. So you're
domestic
saying
market.
like 70% of your audience are like 70% of your sales are like domestic and 30% are international?
In sheer revenue, yeah,
Okay.
because the Chinese market they buy up our conductor, for example, conductors the top ends. Like conductor didn't even make a dent in the head-fi community. It was like mentioned for like 2 days and it was gone
Okay.
because like
So that
yeah
see that I think that's where my bias comes in, and you understand. Okay. So conduct. You mean conductor as in that the IEM, right?
yeah.
So how much does that cost in American dollars?
Oh, I should know this.
Well, you really should
You
because
know,
you work for Shower, yeah.
yeah.
I'll
But
let you
yeah,
Google that real quick. How much does that cost in
uh,
American dollars?
yeah. Give me 1 second. Because if you ask me EJ07, I can tell you off the bat.
Well, yeah,
But
but you're supposed to
conductor,
know
we
the
don't
pricing
sell.
about everything. You work for them, not me.
Yeah. Let's see. 929.
929. Oh shit! I fucked up my internet. No, not my internet. The stream. That's okay. I was checking Discord and it fucked up. Okay, so it costs 900 U.S. dollars, and
Yeah.
you said that that's sold way better in China than in the
Oh
U.S.
yeah. And our EJ09 set, it's uh, also selling a lot more because most people. I know of two people who bought the. I think two people. If we don't count HBB, which are I think Linso sent a set to them. I'm not sure. I forgot. But yeah, I think there's like two of our customer, which by one for the record, EJ009 is $1,400 right now in MSRP, and it's those two sets sell significantly better. I won't say we sell a lot of them like how much we sell for like for example tape or S12, but those sell for a lot more than you would in the Western market. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna be like super classist here because before you said that, and I believe you, I would imagine that the cheaper shower model would sell better in China versus the more expensive model would sell better in outside of China.
Wait, can you repeat that real quick?
I would assume that the lower end model of shower would sell better in China versus internationally.
Oh, we do sell lower end products as well in China. But the
But
thing is, for our most expensive set, they perform significantly better in China. Aside from EJ07, which is an anomaly, I would say. It's a
why is
marketing
that?
anomaly. Yeah.
Why? So, um, because it's 900, because it's $1,000, right? I would kind of assume that, if I'm Chinese and I have, how much is it in RMB? Like in Chinese yuan, it's about like what 6,000 Chinese yuan, right?
Yeah.
So if I have 6,000 Chinese yuan to spend, right? I probably would rather buy an imported IEM.
Oh
Just
yeah,
just
definitely.
just
That's a
so
mentality. Yeah.
right. That's the mentality, right? So I would assume that, like, a lot of like budget set from Shuoer would sell better in China because they would have better value, I guess.
Yeah, the bang for the buck. Yes,
Right.
definitely.
So
Yeah,
like,
but
when you
we
when you go above that $1,000, you kind of not in that like budget oriented mindset
oh
anymore
yeah,
in terms of
yeah.
like Chinese domestic market.
Yeah, I think the situation is that there is like our audience is like completely separated into two sets. You have ones that are um, um like they like our sound signatures for tape or S12, and also because of preference that I think like a geolocation preference for sound, I would say. For example, I would put Japanese and Chinese in one category, and the Western country in one general
Oh yeah,
category.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
They have their general preferences. Yeah.
Yeah. And you would see sets coming, different gears coming off Japan. They are tuned that way, and uh, and that's why I sell better domestically. But our upper market, I would say, because we have in China, there's a lot of people who have money. You would be surprised by how many people who are living in small flat, but they have really expensive gears
Oh yeah, of
for
course. I'm quite aware of, like the growing middle class in my home country, right?
yeah, definitely.
Because
Yeah,
like I don't I, like just nobody can afford a house in China, like house, right? So they have money to buy other things. Um,
yeah.
but not well. That's okay. So funny that you mentioned HBB, right? So obviously um he has a collaboration with Shuoer.
Hmm.
And in a conversation that you on Discord had with us, that obviously you cannot disclose whatever he already said on his YouTube channel, and that's fine. I don't really care. Um, so like, now that you told me that Shuoer has like a sizable market outside of China, so who reached out to who? Can you at least tell me that?
I think I heard different versions of the story of how HBB got to know Shower. It's either Linso, because Linso has a very good relationship with HBB,
Right.
and also another uh, one of our, I would say, VIP who really likes our set. And he reached out to HBV and say, hey, we this set is nice, you should try. Uh, different versions, and but he took our set, he featured it, and it blew up from there. And and that's why we when we thought about collab, well, I would say when we thought about collab, HBB wasn't the first person we approached,
Well,
but
that's not.
because
No. You're the North American rep. That's not what you're supposed to say.
yeah, I know, but yeah, but the thing is, we reached out to different people, and some didn't work out, but a big HBB, what we really want to collab with him, and when we talk, I will tell you this that I'm trying to think, the team when I really like the HBB because how it done us the service. So the collab came to be. He came up with the idea of what he wants as our EJ07M, and we said sure. So the set is gonna have a little bit more mid bass, and the rest of the set is we thought about the rest of the set would sound more like a stock EJ07M, but our engineer turns out he told me you move one thing, it's like a butterfly effect. You move one thing, you can't just move one. You can't just EQ something like you can't
Right.
tune something like you EQ something.
Right.
So that's what he told me. So the general sound signature is slightly different as well.
Okay. Um. But you haven't answered my question. So you guys. So what I'm getting at is that Shuoer reached out to HBB and asked him if he wants to collab, and HBB says yes.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what the special edition, the HBD the collaboration, is a retuned version of the EJ07. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, EJ07M, yes.
Okay. Um. And he wasn't your first choice.
No. The EJ07M where we collab.
No, as in like the collaborator, like HAB was not your first choice of collaborator.
No. We because someone else approached us before as trying to wanting to do a collab, and we complied, but the product didn't go through the that set was from a ground up a different set. It's supposed to be a free dynamic driver set, but it didn't go through the blueprint stage. Yeah, which is really sad. I put a lot of effort into that, and it didn't pass through the blueprint stage. But HBB, we always had a good relationship with him. We sent him every set we have. So
you always have a good relationship with an. Okay, should I say it?
I know. But everyone has an opinion. Everyone can have an opinion about the guy, but I'll say this: one, I won't be with LETSHUOER if not for HBB, and two, our brand won't be in the Western world that where some people would have known about us if not for HBB. So, in that sense, he's kind of significant to our brand.
That's unfortunate.
I get where you're coming from, but as a rep, I would always thank him for everything they've done for the company.
Of course, I'm not gonna push you on that on any further. That well, I think but how about this? So what's his IEM called? Like, so the retune EJ07 obviously has a different name, right? So what is it called?
It's called the kind of lava. It's like if you think about like Google's phone, they have like kind of blue, kind of and we were brainstorming the name.
Okay, that's a stupid name. Let's move on from that.
Dude, it's cool. I think it's cool.
So are you guys marketing that IEM domestically in China at all?
I don't think so, not right now. Because when we first thought about it, we thought it's gonna be a domestic. I mean,
like,
it's gonna be a limited run.
Well, yeah. So it's a. I would assume, like obviously nobody knows HPB in China, right? Right. I will hope not, right? Because they'll probably hate him. So I would assume whatever the collab he has is a internationally only release. So I'm just surprised at the fact that Shuoer's willing to just release something, I guess, retuned for 30% of their market.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, we kind of feel like because the Chinese market, in especially for our budget market is slightly shrinking and domestically, and also for but our high-end market is really taking a hit. That's why and that part of the reason why we're really trying to push for
So you heard it here from the Shuoer rep. We are doing really bad. So in order to turn this company around, we have to partner with a known racist.
Wait, known racist? What do you mean?
You didn't know about the HBB fiasco?
Maybe not.
Oh boy, that is a treat to you. Should I tell that to you like right here?
Maybe not now.
Oh, maybe I should. I and here I'm gonna so before I tell you the story, I'm gonna give you the short version of that story, right? I think like just Chinese as a whole, right? I think I'm not gonna shit on Shuoer, and a lot of people do business with HBB while like Linso and all that stuff, right? Like so I don't fault any Chinese company trying to do business with him, because that I think as Chinese, ethnically Chinese as I am, I do understand that capitalism reigns supreme, so money is above all else. So we don't really care about whatever the guy said or do, as long as he gives us some money, and so that's fine, right? So with that out of the way, so there's a story, and you can read up on it. It's not a lie. It's confirmed, right? And you can read up all the drama about it. So whether you want to believe that or not, and after this, that's up to you. So HBB reached out to Dita, the Singaporean brand, Dita Dream, like Dita. Wait, was it Dita? No, I don't remember. HBB reached out to one of the Singaporean IEM brand. Whether it be, I think it's either Dita or what's the other Singaporean brand? I forgot. The one of Jomo. Oh, there you go. I think HBD reached out to Joseph Mo of Jomo, famously the Jomo Trinity. He asked Jomo for a demo unit of his IEM. He said no, and HBB wrote a very angry email in very HBB style, calling Joseph Mo of Jomo an Asian monkey.
Man. I should have a drink right by me right now.
So HB got in such a big trouble for that. He was banned from HeadFi. Joseph Mo said, so basically they got in a big argument, and HBB says, I never wrote that to Joseph Mo, and Jomo show literally a YouTube video where he's scrolling through the email chain where HBB called him an Asian monkey. So fucking Jude from HeadFi banned his ass from HeadFi.com.
Yeah, I think I heard he got banned, but I'm not sure.
You didn't know he got in trouble with Joseph Mo of Jomo, which is also an ethnically Chinese, a Singaporean who's ethnically Chinese.
Who's also Joseph? Man.
Who is fucking Joseph Mo? Not to shit on, like, not to, like, not that it matters to you guys, right? But I'm just so I assume that Shuoer was not aware of that.
I don't think so. Not even I wasn't even aware of this. I don't think so.
That's quite nice. Well, that's fine.
Let's waste some time.
I mean, like, it's a very, like, isolated incident. Not that it matters, because like, money's money, right? I don't really care about some white guy calling me an Asian monkey, but just what it is. But but like, aside from that, it doesn't really matter, right? So I'm just because like, I have maybe this twisted sense of like how chifi is marketed, because in my head, right, I always think that Chinese people would be more gravitates towards the cheaper chifi, maybe like under $100 chifi, and then they were much more willing to buy an imported IEM if they're like if they're going for something that's above like $1,000 USD or around $1,000 USD. But
I think that's more or less because there's resale mentality, at least for Hong Kongers, and not just headphones. That's related to cameras, bars, and speakers, like really expensive speakers. Like you would see people not willing to buy Chinese brands just because the retail value is low, or the resale value is low,
right.
or the second-hand market is non-existent. And
But
this is one thing that I don't really like about the hobby in China. That's just me.
but your more expensive IEM sells better in China. Why is that?
Well, it's just that relative to the Western uh, market, some of our sets sell better in China. But the exact figure, I would say I don't know because somehow the team didn't share with me the such
Are you
so.
but are you saying that it's more of a sound signature issue or more of like a price issue?
I would say it's more of a sound signature
Okay.
issues. We sold a couple of sets to some people,
Okay,
and
so
you can see some mentions in Headfight, but not much, and most of them are just like
okay, well, you can at least
not
tell
great
me
thing.
this. What's the best selling IEM internationally?
EJ07,
Okay,
and
okay.
yeah, period. Yeah, that one is just because, well, I would say at this moment, I would say, looking back, I would still say it's an anomaly. But the guy, some people would theorize why EJ07 was a success. It's because our engineer likes Etimotic sets, and you will see our peanut looks kind of like Etimotic.
Okay.
And that's what and and we're so one of the few, if not the only chifi brand that does a quad electret. This if anything that matters. I'm not sure how much that matters to the overall sound signature because I haven't heard the other sets like variations or ESC 112, but yeah, we're the one of even for Orfeo audio, even the 1,000 kilobuck sets, they're using a Dewey electric. So we're one of the few that use a quad.
Um.
But yeah, but it sounds good to people. I don't know, and I like it, and I think that's the only reason it created a small cult, pretty much like the T. I forgot what's the name of it. Mangert T. You remember that
Yeah, the
set?
Mangrid tea, whatever that is.
Yeah. T. It also created a cult, more or less, because it kind of like blow up by influencers, reviewers, or people found it and said, "Oh my goodness, this is great," and it's kind of blew up from there.
I um um I is I find it funny, right? I find it funny because just in terms of like, as you're from Hong Kong now that you live in, Canada. Um and I was born in China and now that I live in America. I would like to assume that people in the West have a little bit more purchasing power, just because the standard of living is still somewhat higher in the West, as in people would have more disposable income to buy more expensive IEM in the West, right? But
Mhm.
now that you
Yeah.
have a growing middle class in China, you actually have more Chinese people gravitate towards the more expensive shower IEMs versus people in the West are actually much prefer your more budget or mid range. Like, wouldn't you say EJ07M is more like the mid range
Well,
in your
if
lineup?
in America itself, I would say, well, before we still have the tape and S12 to consider, but I would say internationally, aside from America, our budget set are performing much better, especially in the Russian market and
Much better in the Asian market, really?
no Russian
Ru-
Russian market.
what the fuck?
You have no idea how big the Russian market is. What do you call it? The priority of expanding right now. Of course, there's America, and then there is Russian and Japan. Those are the biggest market. Like our AliExpress store is if you look at the analytics and numbers, Russian is huge. So
Are
yeah.
your IEMs rated for -60 degrees?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Yeah.
Okay, jokes
I
aside,
find it weird when I find this out, but it's true.
I believe you.
Yeah.
I believe you. I feel like I think like just in recent years, I think it's great because like we live in like a global economy, right? And like a lot of the Chinese companies find a growing opportunity overseas, and that's great. But I am of a very like a QDC standpoint, marketing point of view, as in that if we make a good IEM, we don't need the white people. Like you know, like as in like the fact that just because the audio hobby is so much different in China versus the West, it's much easier to sell garbage internationally.
Oh yeah. I feel like
that's not what's supposed to come out of your mouth.
I didn't hear you finish a sentence, but I feel like it's hard to sell garbage in the Western world.
What do you
I'll
mean?
tell you this.
It's hard to sell garbage in China because everybody gets to listen to it before they buy it.
No. You would be surprised because I would tell you the difference when it comes to review. Oh my goodness, I'm not sure if I want to share this, but I'll tell you this anyways. But the reviewers in China, you can pay them to write an article, and you can give them publish this, you know. And these are the negative points you can talk about. These are positive points you can talk about. And well, more or less, it's like what headphones.com and Campfire Shenanigans is doing. I was kind of surprised. I thought this is only what Chinese companies would do, you know, control being mad of negative reviews, you know.
Well, no, I mean, like everything is for sale in China. Is like an opinion is for sale.
Oh yeah.
But like as the thing is that I think in the East, like in China and Japan, in Singapore or whatever, right? I think their audience are less willing to buy something before they actually heard it.
Well, China is huge. Not everyone lives in Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Hong Kong.
But majority of people do. That's the thing, right? Everybody lives in a metropolis, like as in like in my home city of Nanning, where I'm from. There's 7.4 million people. There's only one audio store, and they don't carry Shuoer, so nobody buys them.
Yeah, it's true. I know the mentality, and especially for Hong Kongers, because Hong Kongers, we have like one district with like 30, 40 different stores, and they sell everything from like 10 US dollars, or I mean like 20 US dollars Tanya, all the way up to $2 million speakers, all right. In that 2 kilometers radius.
Yeah, so why should you buy something that you haven't heard before when there's so much a choice in China, right? So
the thing is because a lot of the Chinese brand, I'll tell about Hong Kong market. It's very interesting situation because a lot of the Hong Kongers, they don't. A lot of the stores because what we talk about name brands and resale values, most of the stores in Hong Kong do not think about selling Chinese brands. That's the reality.
Well, of course.
Yeah, so most of the people, when they see a new set, they would look to China. They would look to China. They would say, oh, some people say this is cool, and this only costs like $100, you know. So they would like blind buy from China, from Taobao, or and they get it, and when they would listen to it, and they talk about it on forums, and yeah, it's kind of like US, but in that sense. And the worst thing is in China, most of the time you don't get to return. You don't want to return even because the shipping situation is easy to get stuff from China to Hong Kong, but shipping it back is really hard.
So what you're saying is that people actually do blind buy in China as well.
In Hong Kong, it's at least
right.
and the rest of China. In China, you can a lot if you threaten the stores that you would leave bad reviews. Some stores would comply with returns or refunds.
Well, but the thing is that
So
like you have a lot of physical stores in China, right?
yeah. If you live in the
Well, yeah, if you
metropolis,
live
then
in
yeah,
a big city, like in the capital of a
yeah,
province, usually you'll have some kind of
yeah,
audio store in China, and I
yeah.
don't think like they were willing to buy something that they never get to try before. I'm just
Yeah, most and I would say shower was kind of got bigger and also most of the time because Chinese they love to go to shows like
right audio
I,
shows,
I'm
yeah.
not sure I'm not sure how big CanJam is, but I look at the photos and of the shows. I feel like the scale is bigger in China.
Right,
That's
because
just my
like
feeling. Yeah.
China also have their own version of CanJam, like Shenzhen Audio
Well,
Fest or whatever. Like they have, yeah. Like so,
yeah.
okay. So you're saying like Shower got most of their like domestic like exposure from like those shows
Yeah.
instead of from like their domestic distributors, which
Yeah. That's I have a feeling that's how it is. Yeah.
um, but like is so now that like now like obviously like the Americans or like the people in the West have like have money to spend, right? Or and you have I see a lot of like this growing like chi-fi hype in America, and and a lot of company got really big, like say Moondrop or whatever, like a lot of like KZ Moondrop or a lot of these like um I'm trying to find a word, non-respectable chi-fi brand, let's just say, find their market, find their foothold in America. Is it what their more budget-oriented IEMs? Is Shuoer trying to like have try to sell more expensive IEM internationally? Like,
Um.
cause like I before I start talking to you, right? Obviously, so let me just put this out there. I have never heard any of your IEMs. I don't know what they sound like, so I'm not gonna judge on the sound signature of IEMs. Nor do I care, because as far as I think that they don't sound good. Um, sorry, that's biased. I'm sorry. It doesn't really matter, right, to me, because like economics matter to me, and sound is whatever. So so is there an effort to try to get people internationally to be more accepting of Chinese $1,000 IEMs?
I think well the brand strategy this year, at least this year, we're gonna pump out a lot more budget IEMs, uh, just because we want to break into a bigger audience. But
Right,
we are I would still say our brand was known because of EJ07.
right,
And
right,
yeah,
and Mercedes and BMW don't sell their 8 BMW M8 class the most, right? Their most best selling classes, the BMW
the
3
free
Series,
something,
right? The
yeah,
3 Series, right?
325, yeah,
Right. So obviously, yeah, of course, your best selling IEM is still, the your bread and butter is still the middle of the row EJ07. But what I'm asking is that, do you guys see a future in $1,000 chi-fi market? What I'm trying to say is that, is there any effort to combat the stigma of Chinese company not being able to make top of the line IEMs?
No, I would say I would say this. We want to sell some expensive IEMs because our engineer wants it,
Right.
and because our boss likes well, those margins as well. But
You're not supposed to say that. Like, margin's not what you're talking about.
yeah, but also they with more expensive IEMs, we have more liberty of
Well, of course,
what
yeah.
we can do.
There's
Yeah,
more of an
and
R&D budget. Your engineer can like, so like basically like your boss don't have a budget constraint for your engineers, right? Just make whatever you want, make it sound as good as you want, and I'll charge as much as I want, right?
yeah, we do have that mentality for our top end IEMs as well. That's why we have a sound signature that some people may not agree, but we do shoot for we do have a target curve, so to speak. We are not one that would like okay, tomorrow we'll make a bass headset. Today we'll make a tomorrow we'll or next day we'll make a diffuse field set. You know, we have what a sound signature in mind, and we always strive to do uh, better for the upper end set. And uh, we do have one coming up. We have one set that's China exclusive, unfortunately.
China exclusive, unfortunately.
Yeah, I would because it's kind of interesting that set when it do comes out, people with look funny well, I can't tell you about it yet, but the configuration
Why
is interesting. Yeah.
why does it why so obviously let's assume the HV collaboration is American or international, North American exclusive or internationally exclusive, right? Because there's no
Yeah.
way you market that shit in China.
It's hard. Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
I mean, like, why would you market like a fucking 50-year-old boomer who's also white, lives from Hawaii, lives in Japan? Like he obviously he doesn't matter to the Chinese audience, right? So whatever, like, you know, the HB collab, is just so internationally, and that I understand, right? But why would Shuoer have a domestic exclusive IEM?
Well, because we have a bunch of people who are deep pocket. Let's just say this.
Well, yeah, but like, what's the point of just not throwing it on your website and say, hey, if you want it, we can ship it to you
Yeah,
outside of China?
because that one I was told is a fifth year anniversary set,
So
and
how
they
just
were
how
saying,
expensive it is?
huh?
How expensive it is it?
I'm not sure yet. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean,
tell
well, you
you.
can't tell me. That's fine.
I'll give you. No, I don't. I honestly don't know. I will tell you a ballpark if I know, but I don't. I know the spec of it, but I'm not gonna tell you this.
Okay, so I would assume it would be like the upper level of.
Oh yeah, it will be more expensive than the EJ09. That much I know.
That wasn't that your 1 point something.
1.4. Okay,
Right.
yes.
So here, so before we started, like before I was gonna talk to you, right? I didn't really I didn't know that Shuoer sells something that's $1,500. That was quite
Yeah,
um
yeah. Most people was like, dude, it's like two extra BA, and you sell it for like that much more, you know. So it's, yeah, and people who do buy it, some they would say it's not for them. Well, I know one happy customer in the West, so that's something.
so
Yeah.
obviously the EJ09 sells way better in China than in
Oh yeah,
overseas.
and also because most of it is because of the perspective of what sounds good to them. And I
Right.
think Japan sells that set okay as well. We sell more than the whole Western market combined in just
Right.
Japan as
Well,
well. Yeah.
that's because, like, just because like difference in taste between like the Asian and the West, like, and the European and North American audience, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, not to comment on how good or bad that IEM sounds. Probably not for me. None of my problem. Um, okay.
But yeah, speaking about the collab, it's because I would say this: having someone from the West to collab with our brand, in a sense, it's a selling point in the domestic market. They would say, oh, I'm not sure if you have seen this growing up. You know, people there will be some white people going on to ads and talk about stuff and how they like it and brand who say, "Oh, even the white guys like it." You know how that mentality is.
Sure.
Sure, no,
I
but yeah,
I mean
thing.
like I am the mentality that like I am of a very elitist, as in Chinese mentality of as in like we really shouldn't care about anybody outside of our domestic Chinese market things because they don't know better.
It's true. Some of them would think that way in China, but
And I am of the opinion that as in like the big company really shouldn't care. Like um so obviously you guys have this like, and you talk about this like most of your 2022 releases will be a more budget oriented IEMs, because that's the bulk of your sales, right? And as you know, as any company would, right? Like BMW or whatever, like the mid-range product is always the one that sells best. So when you launch those IEMs, is there do you guys do you guys make certain IENs that's more catered towards the Western market? And are you guys then you make more some IENs more catered towards the Eastern market? Is that something that
I would say Conductor in '09, like I said, is more catered towards looking. We didn't intend it to do it, but now the Asian market is more on those sets. But for S12, for example, at the beginning, we didn't even think we would sell in China, and then some of our resellers saw the set and said, "Hey, can we sell it?" So we just and at then we translated all our stuff back to Chinese. But yeah, so it's a retrospective launch in China. China is not the first to launch the S12 in that sense. So yeah, it's kind of interesting and forward thinking for the boss that way. I'm not sure if it's a good or bad, but it's just that we're I would say our brand is would more or less be more of a Western first brand in the future. I would at least I think that way because the domestic market is one is kind of cutthroat. It's really cutthroat. You either fight with price or you bully everyone. I won't name the brand, but I know one brand who would bully everyone, and that's why you don't see. If I say this, I may give it away.
I can understand how it's kind of hard to compete with QDC 8 series like the Gemini and the SLA and all that stuff. When you price something at 1.5 grand, I again, like, I have never heard your EJ09 before, and nor do I care. I doubt that it sounds as good as the QDC 8 series, which is obviously the best sounding chifi ever in the world. Again,
it's hard to gauge if you're serious or not sometimes.
I'm not at all.
And I like it.
I, as far as you know, I am.
But yeah, to be honest, I actually like QDC, like the VX said, and I'm just gonna go on a tangent and tell you the story. And on a different trip to China, I was just like, because Huajiang, I'm not sure if you heard of this, the JQ Audio. Have you heard of this brand?
JQ Audio.
JQ, J and Q.
What's their Chinese name?
The biggest set is called Huajiang.
No,
it's a kind of like tribrid set, and it was kind of big at that time. So you can find on the internet. It's not very publicized in China, outside of China, but yes, they have this they have their own retail set location, and they have all these sets of chi-fi and international sets as well. Everything from Z1R or VX all the way to the most expensive Aureolus. I always have a hard time pronouncing that name. Aureolus, yes. Aureolus, yes, the most expensive Aureolus. And VX is the only set that I like out of all those.
Well, yeah, because it's the best chifi ever made.
They make a Blue Dragon. What's this?
What? It's the best chifi ever made. It's the best IEM in the world.
The VX Blue Dragon? Dude,
So what? Why do you care? That's like a domestic thing. Why does it matter?
No, I don't know. I think
Are you just jealous as a Shuoer rep that you cannot show a so there's this Chinese term, right? There's a Chinese term that if I want to mention, like I mentioned it in the podcast before, called 万元sai. You know, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So that in direct translation into in English is the 10,000 RMB IEM.
Plug.
Right.
No, it's plug.
One means 10,000, right?
Yeah.
The 10,000 Chinese RMB IEM.
Yeah.
Are you just salty that you can't sell a 1 yuan sai as Shuoer?
No, Blue Dragon is a 10万元赛，好不好? No.
But it doesn't matter. Like it sounds exactly the same as VX, and not that it matters, right? And VX costs about $2,000, $2,300. Like that's what their MSRP is, like in outside, right?
I think it sells cheaper domestically.
Well, obviously, yeah, because taxes and whatnot. Obviously, it's cheaper in domestic with their domestic pricing. Right.
But I'm not salty at all, to be honest. I think the brand's pricing. I think it's right now. It's just right. Personally, I think. Well, of course, I wouldn't if I'm not working for Shuoer. I probably won't pay. Probably won't have enough money to pay for EJ078. But the thing is, because of the cutthroatiness with the Chinese brands, that's why we came up with EJ07M. Part of the reason, because of EST 112, that's why we have the M version, the mass market one.
Wait, how much is EJ07M?
The 7M is 620 MSRP.
$620.
But the cheapest we sell before is 560.
Wait, so how much is EJ07?
That one is 850.
That's very expensive.
Yeah, but the thing is, for a tribrid at this time, if you think about the Odins or all the tribrids,
whoa, please don't. No.
I'm not comparing myself to EEs. Okay, I'm just saying this the market. If you think about the Western market, the tribrids when it first started, it's all kilobucks IEM, and 800 something as a tribrid at this time, and quad EST at that time. With people, it's like, oh my goodness, that's a bargain.
Coming from the horse's mouth, you can buy a Empire Year Odin for a cheap price of $800. Just buy the EJ07.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying tribrids at that time is expensive. Tribrids. Okay, dude.
The audacity of you comparing your $800 to $3.5.
Saying tribrids everywhere else at that time when EJ07 first came out are all kilobucks, and we undercut everyone as an $800 something IEM. When EST 112 was not out, when Audio wasn't even a brand, when I'm half sure that we're the first chi-fi brand to go into tribrids, especially making a name in the Western market. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, like, yeah, that's fair. I think like to have a budget oriented, I don't care about driver configuration. If it sounds good, it sounds good, right? And I understand the marketing draw between for tribrid IEMs, and people understand people like the technology of it, and I do believe as I said before, hybrid IEMs is the future. I have yet to heard a tribrid that sounds good. Now that I'm no longer into the IEM market, I haven't heard too many tribrid IEMs, but I do believe.
You into the headphone market?
No.
Speakers?
Well, yeah, I have speakers now.
No, I'm just wondering what kind of audio can do into IEMs or whatnot. Dude, man, that's life, man. I don't know. It's not utopia, but still.
No, it's no. Well, no, I am. I don't believe in passive speakers.
Ah, right, right, right.
Um,
Yeah, I can totally get by that. My first set well, my second set is a Yamaha HS5 as well. So yeah, used to be.
for like, okay, not going into this like speaker talk, right? Well, no, we're not getting. So I don't believe in passive speakers because it's too much effort.
Mm, mm,
So like I only
I
buy
gotcha.
like so I'm just gonna buy active speakers like with the amp built in.
And
So
mm-hmm,
that's hence the Focal Twin Six, but
mm-hmm.
but like so now that I'm no longer in the IEM market, I haven't heard a lot of tribe, but I do. Um, so before I sold all my IEMs, like now you don't know if you didn't know like um which is great. I had VX and I have Z1R.
VX is nice. Yeah, like I said,
Right,
I love
and hence the
VX.
joke that I show VX because uh I I I I am one of the person like so when I had the QDC Gemini before VX was a thing. I bought it when I went on a business trip in China. And after that I upgraded that to a VX when I happened to went back to China again when VX launched. And I bought a Z1R in China as well. And when I came back to the States, I started a joke about um just buy VX
VX
because
or Z1R, man. VX
because
or
because
Z1R.
I came to the idea like I made a joke to myself in my head. It's like there is no way that people would buy a $2,000 Chi-Fi IEM in the West, right?
VX was quite well sold in the West,
Well,
right?
yes, it is partly because of me, um, because I literally showed the IEM in Critical's Discord, and it's like the most hilarious way. Like, there's nothing like, oh, just buy VX, just don't be poor, buy VX, right? And like the joke kind of take off of the fact that and people who bought it, it's like wow, it's a really really good IEM, right? Because
Hmm.
it sells itself like it's a great IEM, probably the best Chi-Fi ever made. We don't know, right? Probably not gonna come out of your mouth, but what I think still the best Chinese IEM ever. But no, let's like get out of that
My
topic.
boss would not like me to talk about
Well, yeah,
VX at
but like
all.
so let's get out of that topic, right? So obviously like Shuoer has a very big market, like a very big budget market in the international market. So
Oh yeah.
is there an effort to sell more expensive IEMs internationally, or would you
If you
say
ask a
that's
company,
not
they
your
would.
or would you say that's not your priority?
I would say the boss is trying, the company is trying to do both at the same time. I don't see how that we would accomplish both of them at the same time in a very large scale, to be honest. But I would say, looking at the roadmap down this year, I would say this year we're focusing on the budget end. But we still have high end sets coming out. But because we've been doing high end sets for the focus is on the high end sets for the past few years, and so this year we're trying to see if we can go budget and go big with it. So yeah.
But budget as in how much?
Um, I don't think we can go KZ cheap. That's
Well, no,
all.
no, no. I
That's
mean,
all I can
like,
say. Yeah.
no, well, don't shit on KZ now. Come on.
No. I'm just saying.
Well, okay. How
To
about
be
this?
honest, I actually like hate. I'm not sure if I told you this, but I had a set. Well, I had a set of AS16.
I don't like KZ. Obviously, I don't care.
But the thing is, the company. I'm just going to tell you this story. Is that when the CRN came out, the clinical set. I haven't heard it. I don't know how it sounds. But the thing is, when I tell us the specification to the boss, he would say, "Dude, how did they make it that cheap?" You know, even if it's Chinese made drivers, Chinese people doing it, or making the set and it's mass produced, uh, boss just couldn't pinch the numbers to make it work for the KZ model.
Yeah, because it sounds like
This
shit.
is model.
What's the point?
No, that's besides the point. I'm just saying how they make a profit with that kind of money. That's
Because
all.
their
That's all
margins
the
are
boss is
awful.
saying.
Because their margins are awful. The KZ is the Walmart approach, right? As in you sell at very low margin and then you sell a mass quantity of it. So,
Mm-hmm,
but
mm-hmm,
like
mm-hmm.
not to get you to shit on other chifi brand, right? So like I'm not gonna get you to do that. Um, so like again, like as you mentioned, the 2022 roadmap for Shuoer. So what, like you say budget? So what do you mean by, as in what price point are you guys?
I would say about the $100 to
Okay,
price range. It's not. It's not.
mid
It's not
fi,
budget, but yeah,
right?
mid five. With the budget end of mid five, because the mid five is kind of huge. It's like 100 to kind of like 400. We call it mid five, I think.
Well, yeah, but if you, oh, so you don't get me. My version of mid five, the Sony M9.
Right. Mm.
That's mid fi to me. So obviously that and your budget is 100, and you know I think that's fair because like I do think that if you're gonna sell something, right, I think the $100 to $200 USD range is definitely probably like your bread and butter sales, and it's probably smart to expand on that. But so to name other names that like, so it's your job to be in tune to the American market, right? So with the success of the Thea Audio Monarch, as it being $1,000 and sell extremely well internationally, do you see a future in $1,000 chi-fi IEMs internationally?
Yeah, I do. I think because the Western market don't have the same mentality of resellability like at least the Hong Kongers and the Chinese do, and they value more the how the product is actually is, and so I see a future for, and also they like good bang for buck, but also quality. So for the tri-Brits or the $800 to $1,000, some people it's a end game and the budget end game range. If you know
Right.
what I mean. Yeah, so that's a budget end game range, and that market we see that is growing as well. And and I know a lot of people who likes to buy to find a gem that is like a good bang for buck. They like to find a $29, even though they own multi kilo box IEMs. They would say this $29 IEM is great, and they it's a hobby. IEM is a hobby, and even for speakers, yeah, it's the same mentality.
No,
Finding the
I don't go around and buy shitty speakers.
Well, I mean, there's people who like to wait a shit on the comments. No, there are people who like to find
So in case you don't know, my backup speakers. Oh, here's a Fugu, by the way. My backup speakers are Genelecs.
yeah, I noticed that as well.
I don't go around and buy shitty speakers.
Well, I my backup speaker at one well my speaker at one point, but my last set of speaker before my current set is also the Cali Audio. Have you heard of them? Like the XJVL engineers,
Extra. The
the Cali Audio,
Cali Audio.
KAI.
Yeah.
Those are my set, and they're pretty fantastic as well. I'm half sure that I blind bought this just because they're and I ship them all the way from USA because they don't have a distributor in Hong Kong, and the shipping is like half of the cost of the calories. Man,
Okay,
but
but
they're,
I want to go
but
on
they're
a
so good.
tangent too much. I'm gonna
Yeah.
stop going.
Anyways, but yeah, I'll go back to IEM. I feel like the Western market, they like the budget end game market is growing, and I think we want to focus on that as
Well,
well.
I mean,
Uh,
EJ07 is already $800, right? So like what is, so like I think like your international market is already like so familiar with that $800 pricing, right? And as you said,
yeah,
like it sells very well internationally, right? So what is another $200, just to bump it up to like $1,000, I feel like Shuoer wouldn't have problem doing that. Like, not to comment on how bad your IEM might sound.
Dude. Yeah, but yeah, I think I the people who like our brand, they are always asking for a budget end game single DD set, but
That's not gonna
um,
happen.
huh?
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's hard to I'm gonna tell you this. DD single DD is really hard to get right. Even the current kilobucks market single DDs.
Okay,
Man.
so uh uh tell me this: does Shuoer currently sell a single DDIM?
We do. We with the soloist.
And how much does that cost?
That one sells for 150 bucks if I
So
don't recall
and
wrong.
that's your only single DDIM.
Uh,
That's your most
yes.
expensive thing. Okay, so
No, that's the
now,
only thing.
okay, so now
That's
that
the
you're not
only
gonna,
active
okay,
single
so
DD.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna get you in trouble here. So in your opinion, without mentioning the soloist, obviously that's the best single DDIM in your opinion, right? So without mentioning the soloist, what is the best single DDIM that you have ever heard?
I would say I would say I'm drawing a blank because I haven't heard a lot that I actually like. But I would say that the Dita, the Dita, that's the only set that comes to mind. I heard it in
Which
a
Dita?
show.
Because they're all single DD.
Yeah, and that's the only set that I can think of.
But which one? They have a bunch. You can't name a name.
The Dream Edition. Yeah,
Oh, the best Dita ever made.
yeah. That's the only set that I can think of that I can appreciate.
Well, no, they're all awful, by the
Yeah.
way. So like, there's no really. Okay. Um, uh,
My favorite set though, my favorite of all time set is a single BA. Can you imagine that?
I
It's a
cannot.
single BA set. It's called it's a brand called Autofon. Have you heard of Autofon?
No.
Autofon they only make they're very well known for making needles like turntable needles
Oh, okay.
cartridge. They're very well known for making that, and they dabbled in IEMs. They made only three IEMs and they discontinued everything after that. They made the EQ5, EQ7, and EQ9. EQ7 I bought it 3 times because I broke the other two.
Um.
And they're like back then they were like 450 a set, no 500 US dollar a set
Well,
for a
that's
single
ridiculous.
BA. Can you imagine that?
No, I
Yes.
cannot.
Yeah, but they're really good because for a triple head they're good. They're really good IEMs. But
Now that you
this set
mentioned
at the
Treblehead,
moment.
I do understand why you have the DT 990 on your head.
Yeah. That's been on my bucket list for at least 2 years before I bought it,
That is
and
fucking
before I save
disgusting.
up
That's
for buying it. Yeah.
and how dare a Shuoer rep does not have the Shuoer IEM when he does a podcast with another person?
Well, but the thing is, I because I have I get fatigued very easily with IEMs. I used to do IEMs a lot more, and now I put it on 30 minutes. It hurts my ear painfully. Unfortunately, so yes, I use
So
IEMs on a
because of
go.
your
Yeah,
physical inability to have IEMs, is Shuoer going to make headphones?
I'm not gonna deny this, but we may in this year, but
And you guys are
we have a lot of things that don't go through the blueprint stage,
right, like the planning.
but
Yeah, okay.
yeah, the planning stage, but we have been discussing it in house. But how what's the driver configuration? How much it costs? I'm not sure because it's
And you
probably gonna
guys are
change.
your own OEM, right?
Yeah, we're first an OEM company. Yes,
And
and in fact, we still have a huge OEM business. It's just, but I won't tell you which brands that we OEM for. So
but well,
that's a huge taboo in the company. So yeah.
well, I mean, it doesn't matter to me, right? So now that you are the OEM part of the company, still majority of your revenue.
Um,
Or can you not tell me that?
I don't think I want to answer that. I know the answer, but I don't think I want to answer that. Yeah,
Okay.
unfortunately.
So let's just say that I mean, um, the reason I asked that is right, like you say Blonde 03, right, and they are their own OEM, right,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and Blonde as a company only became a thing that's like an afterthought because they make dynamic driver for a lot of chi-fi companies, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen the what's that headphones you call the Send the Iva? Have you heard of that?
No.
Send the Iva? It's a the planar headphones that is Sifka made one that looks exactly like that, and a few companies, I have I have a feeling that it's made by Beeline because of how prolific they have become, and Beeline is huge. If you've seen their factory, it's kind of huge.
Well, yeah, yeah. Obviously, I understand how good like be like. So that's why I asked you that question. Like, it's because like the OEM, the manufacturing side, like making driver side, is kind of like the majority part of your business. You can either neither confirm or deny that, and like kind of the audio company is kind of like the side thing, right? Just like very much in tune to the fact that I'm gonna say that QDC for foremost is a Chinese military contractor at first, then an IEN company second, right? Like they're not gonna
People,
deny that like Shenzhen Kunling, that's what their name is. Like audio company is a contractor for the Chinese, like the Red Army, like right. They're a company. They're like a Red Army contractor. That's the majority where the money comes from, and like and QDC like audio as second, right? The capital QDC, right? QDC have two company, right? That's what I always tell people. The capital QDC is a Red Army contractor. The lowercase QDC is the IEM company.
yeah.
Not that I fault Shuoer to be an OEM, right? And and I think there are like distinct advantages to be an OEM company and also a audio company, right? Because you make so everything is done in house, right? I would assume.
Yeah, we no, we not everything is done in house. We don't build our own like we don't build our own drivers. We design some of them. We don't build our drivers in house. Does that make sense?
Yes, but
Yeah.
all the
So
designs are in house.
yeah, and for most of the parts, we work with our partners. Yeah. If you understand how expensive it is to R&D at DD, you would think it's more expensive to engineer BA, but DD is so expensive
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it, that's why everybody have the blonde drivers because costs, um, right?
yeah, yeah, and you would see the same driver in different brands of
Well, yeah, that's
IEMs
why they all
because
sound the same. That's why all the single DD Tri-Fi sounds the same because they're all blonde drivers.
yeah, except for the soloist is interesting the driver.
Oh,
Well, you probably think I'm shilling, but it's kind
I
of
don't think you're shilling. I know you're shilling.
no, but the driver is we didn't made it, we didn't design this one, but it's a one-off. I'm sure that it
Produced by who?
huh?
Produced by who?
Maybe
Who?
produced by who? I don't think I can tell you that, but it's a big company. It's a big company that also makes cell
Produced
phones.
by
How about it?
Blonde.
No, it's not Blonde.
Okay.
Blonde don't make cell phones, but it's a company that also make parts for cell phone. It's kind of huge.
What?
Yeah, it's a company that is they make a lot of different electronic parts
Okay.
and
I'm not gonna press you on that.
yeah, but yeah, they also make cell phone parts and all. But it's they it's still I still haven't seen people market I mean a production IEM that makes user set. How does it sound is probably subjective, but I still haven't seen people making that with like the liquid silicone slide. How not just IEM like speaker drivers. You have the surrounds and you
Right.
have the cone.
Mm-hmm.
The cone is the Kevlar, and the sides is a liquid silicone material. But how does that sound? I don't know. Some people like it.
I mean, like,
Most people in the West heard it, just don't really care. But yeah.
I mean, like, I'm all about the DD driver material hype. As in, like, people like beryllium driver is all the hype. In the Western like single DD market, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of like the Dunu Luna and like the
Does it
final
even sound
audio.
good? I don't know. I haven't heard that one. Have
It
you
does
heard
not.
it?
It does not. It does
Oh,
not. Like all the beryllium driver sounds like fucking awful because it doesn't scale down in terms of size, right? So like the most famous beryllium driver audio equipment are from, well, Focal, right? Because the Focal Utopia is a beryllium driver headphone, and Focal is known for using beryllium driver in their speakers, right? And like obviously they're giant. Like the speakers are like the dynamic driver they use in their speaker and their headphones are like giant. Therefore, they can produce like a better sound. Whereas if you were to shrink that technology down, I am personally believe that, like, me hearing a lot of beryllium IEM before, like the 8000 and the Dunu Luna, you don't really get extension in neither end. So like you have really bad treble extension and very bad bass extension, right?
yeah, and I haven't and also I haven't heard one of those DLC dynamic drivers as well. Have you heard of them?
Well, yeah, but like obviously, like single DD is like kind of like a weird thing, right? Again, like topic for another time. That's why
Yeah.
that's why I believe that hybrid is like the future, right?
Hmm.
And then Shuoer is going to that direction. Like, you guys have your tribrids, and obviously like the DD for the bass, and then the BA for the mids, and then the EST for the high, right? Obviously, I can't speak to the quality of your IEMs because I've never heard of it, nor do I, like, So, but like that is what you guys are moving towards, and forget my ignorance of your products. What is the cheapest hybrid IEM that you guys sell?
Uh, the cheapest
Wait, isn't the
hybrid.
tape the fucking hybrid?
Huh?
Isn't tape a freaking hybrid? It's
Oh yeah.
a BAEST.
DD and magnetostatic. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that tape is a hybrid. The cheapest one we sell right now is a Singer. I would go. Well, my boss probably don't want me to say this, but I would go on record and say don't buy the Singer.
By the tape, right?
Tape OG is good.
But not the Pro.
The pros. I'm not gonna comment on that.
Do you are you familiar with the meme that says you don't understand the Shuoer tape?
Yeah, in the AD server now I know. Yeah.
But now you know where that came from.
I'm not sure where it came from. Is it from Headphone?
Yeah, it came from Headfire. One of the 80 reviewer, I think, went on record to shit on a Shuoer tape, on Headfire, and Headfire's rushed to the tape defense, and one of the defense saying that you don't understand the Shuoer tape. That's where the meme came from.
Man. Yeah.
So like, as far as my knowledge of your company is that it came from memes.
It's still a meme, look at that name.
Okay, so I think we're winding down. It's been like an hour and a half. So is there something like, so I gave you the beginning of your time to show your company. Is there something that you want to show your company again for the future? Like as in terms of like maybe like 2022, as in like you talk about the roadmap a lot. Should like, do you want to, like, obviously everybody watches the show is like American. What? whatever, English speaking.
Singaporean? I thought Singaporean watches show.
No, they don't. Um,
You're like,
so is there anything like anything else you want to show? Like looking forward to your products coming out in 2022? Anything you want to leak? Like any great projects that you can talk about in the upcoming like release timeline or whatever?
I think the biggest thing is the there are things that coming out I don't understand enough to show it. So I'm of the belief that I don't want to show something I don't know.
Well, no, like
And
I just like whatever you guys are going to release. Like I don't
I
think
think
you
I
you don't
think
have to show anything.
we're gonna have more those. Well, one of the things I find it weird, but we'll be releasing more dongles.
Okay.
And yeah, I know that's weird, but
No, that's not
I don't
weird.
know.
I think that's great. I think dongles are like I mean like now that everybody have phones without a fucking 3.5 millimeter jacks, I don't really see like I don't
Yeah,
yeah. So no
I,
dongles.
I would I would say this. DT02 is one of the cheapest dongle that I know that comes with both a USB-C and a Lightning connector that actually works. How does that sound? I have no idea because I haven't heard of it.
You're not supposed to
But
say that.
huh?
You're not supposed to say that.
Yeah, no. I'm going. I tell everyone this. There's half the products I haven't heard because of company. I don't know, company policy. But Tribits definitely. Our company is known for doing Tribits right, and well, some of you may
Sorry, doing
disagree, but
tribits right.
yeah, I still think it sounds awesome. At least from my side, it sounds awesome, and renders all the rest of my IEM collection useless.
That's because you don't have the
Which
QDC VX, right?
yeah, that's one of the things that I honestly want to get. I actually like the VX. Man, you bring out the worst of me. But yeah, VX and what else? I don't know. We also will be coming out with some new the DDBA sets. So those are something to look for because we haven't done a DDBA set for a while. So something to look forward to.
All right, so look forward to Shuoer's release on their stupid dongles and their stupid tribrits and stupid hybrids. Sometime in the
Yeah,
future of 2022.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I think I'm gonna, like, not the shit. Like, again, like, I think it's great. Like, I mean, like, again, like talking to you, I definitely, um, get a better perspective because like of like their Chinese domestic market versus the international market, and honestly that's what I was curious about for the most part. And I think like um I think like I never really understand why a lot of like the chi-fi companies see a expanding market in the West. And I think that's fair. I think like like right now you're seeing a lot of like boom of like the 100 like the mid the sub $300 IEM tri-fi range, like that's doing really well in the West, right? And I'm just really I'm just really curious of why like Chinese company are like looking to expand that market, which is like which is very interesting, from an insider perspective. So yeah, thanks for coming on the show, and yeah, we're gonna cut it here.
All right. Thank you.